we know that if we, have a project, and even though we might be making it in the underground, at least we know it's real.
Right.
Well, speaking of the remake, Lloyd, because I have heard about it, but how's that going to affect, I know for a long time there's been, talks of, you doing another Toxic Avenger. I think the Toxic Twins or whatever, I think
right.
might be what it's called.
We're
but
working on
that.
We're in our agreement for the remake. We have we've carved out the right to make our own Toxie 5. One thing has nothing to do with the other, except that presumably if we get a big fat check for the remake, that will help us on financing for Toxie 5, because with Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, I had to use my wife's retirement money.
Oh, no.
I told her
I
told her she was investing in Tree of Life Part 2, so don't tell her. But I couldn't. You see, we can't tell investors anymore that they can make money, because they can't. We're economically blacklisted for the past 10 years because the industry is so consolidated. It's impossible for us to get any revenue. We're totally blacklisted. Cannibal the Musical's never been on American TV. Citizen Toxie, which sold 500,000 home video items, DVDs and cassettes. Citizen Toxie, Part 4 of Toxic Avenger, never been on any, not even Skinamax, nothing. They've been able to get the laws changed so the conglomerates control everything, and they're vertically integrated, and we're blacklisted. So we get economically blacklisted. So we have no revenue. So I cannot ask people to invest unless they just want to lose money. And oddly enough, there are very, very few people who want to lose money. I would think people would want to lose money, but believe it or not, there aren't many who do.
Oh, believe me, I lose money all the time.
But I bet you don't want to lose money. Whereas, you see, if I say to my friend, hey, come and invest in Toxic Avenger, and guess what? You'll lose all your money. They're not that eager to do that, If I could say, like I used to be able to say, hey, the worst that'll happen, invest in Toxie 5, and the worst that'll happen is you'll break even after 2 years and maybe make a small profit. That's worst case scenario. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. But if I have to say, hey, invest in Toxie 5, you'll lose every dime, it's not quite as attractive. And that is the case, which is why my wife and I paid for about 80% of Poultrygeist.
Oh, wow.
And we basically lost every dime.
Oh,
even though it's my best movie and people love it. But
I love it. I have it.
Well, thank you, Tiffany. But if it can't play anywhere, if it can't be on TV anywhere, if it's not in any video stores, how do you can't exactly live off that, right?
Well, where even is a video store anymore? The only thing we have around here is Redbox now. All Blockbusters.
Well, we're not even in Redbox. In the whole time, we've outlived Blockbuster. Blockbuster's bankrupt, but Troma's still around. But we never ever had a
way that internet streaming is going with Netflix and Hulu and other independent streamers that will turn around, because I know that some Troma stuff does occasionally show up on Netflix, and I think I've heard rumors of a couple of different horror streaming avenues coming around.
It's on Comcast, VOD. A lot of Troma stuff. A lot of Troma stuff is on Comcast.
Yeah, but that's all free. We don't charge, and that's all for our fans. We don't get it. It actually costs us money because we have to put on the closed caption stuff.
Right.
So we're fucked, basically. We're totally screwed. We have no revenue from anything. The Internet has not yet proven to be a great source of revenue. The problem with Netflix is they might pay $40 million for the collection of Miramax movies, but they pay us squat, nothing, 10 cents. Right. They'll buy a few DVDs and play them, but we don't even get royalties. It's unfortunately we don't get treated very nicely.
Well,
I find that ridiculous.
Unfortunately, it's the reality is that we have no revenue, but we have a big footprint. Quentin Tarantino, Peter Jackson, Takashi Miike. Everybody loves Troma, and we've had a big influence on Eli Roth and James Gunn and Gaspar Noé, and we're certainly famous, but we've got absolutely no revenue.
I have a question for you, Lloyd, and this is just going back to my own childhood, and this is actually how I got interested in Troma and became a fan of Troma. But how did the Toxic Crusaders cartoon come about? Because I've never actually heard you talk about it, and I just kind of wanted to know how such an ultra-violent movie like the Toxic Avenger spawned a Saturday morning cartoon show.
Yeah, the Toxic Avenger it's historically very important film for many, many reasons, but one of them is the fact that Toxic Avenger is the only movie where a young boy's head is squashed by the wheel of an automobile that was subsequently made into a politically correct environmental Saturday morning cartoon show for 5-year-olds. And yeah. I don't know what happened. I honestly, from what I gather, it started with the toy company. The toy company that were making the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, were starting to lose money. And they wanted an environmental toy to replace the Turtles. And somehow they didn't look at the Toxic Avenger movie. They only looked at the poster, and the guy, Toxie, has a mop, and they figured, oh, this is cute. And so they came on board. And then the toy company decided to finance the cartoons, some of which I wrote with Jeff Sass, or I wrote with somebody else, I can't remember. And then suddenly we had about 200 companies licensing Toxic Crusader merchandise.
Yeah, because I remember thinking.
I don't think any of these people ever saw the movie.
Exactly.
It was really crazy. I have no idea how all that happened, except it did happen, and for a couple of years, you can read about it in my book. Everything I need to know about filmmaking, I learned from the Toxic Avenger, or all I need to know about filmmaking, I learned from the Toxic Avenger. It's my first book. It's available on Amazon, and in I don't think Barnes & Noble has it anymore. But it's definitely available on www.troma.com, Amazon, and it's really good. It's a memoir. James Gunn wrote it with me, and he went on to do Super and Slither and other movies starting with S.
Yeah, that was actually my favorite movie of last year was Super.
Good for you. That's a great film. You've got good taste. That's an interesting. It's great that you really got it, because so many people have discovered it, but not enough people have seen it. Super is a masterpiece. It's really great.
Well, Slither was a great movie, and that was just completely overlooked at the box office. I mean,
they sold it wrong. Slither, they sold the movie the wrong way. They sold Super the right way, honestly, but I think they just didn't spend enough money on advertising. But it's a great movie. It's terrific. I agree with you.
Yeah. Actually, the reason why Tiffany is on today is because she really wanted to talk to you, and she said that she had some specific questions for you. So,
thank you.
You want to get into your questions you got, Tiffany?
Yeah, I actually only have one big one, and feel free to talk on it however you want, because I won't shut the hell up. Mm-hmm. I want to know how you felt about the Mother's Day remake.
Well, that's a very good question. I felt very good about it because my brother got a gigantic check. It's his movie, and Troma made some money off it. I have not seen the movie, so I can't really comment on it. But I've heard from people at the Cannes Film Festival that it's very good. Did you see it?
Yes.
Oh, you have, because I know that it's available online at various file-sharing sites, but I haven't really looked at it yet.
I actually went and paid to see it. I was so excited.
Where did you see it?
God, I don't even remember. I went somewhere in downtown Atlanta, I think.
Wait a minute, the original Mother's Day or the remake? Because
the remake.
It hasn't played in any theaters yet.
Really?
No.
Then maybe I'm a pirate. But
maybe you saw it on the internet,
somewhere.
but it hasn't played in any movie theaters that I know of. I don't think it's come out. I think we would know about it.
It might have. I'll have to reference the person that I went to go see it with.
Are you based in Atlanta?
Yeah,
we're in Atlanta.
Well, there is a film festival. Maybe it was in that horror festival that gets...
Are you talking about Buried Alive?
What is it called?
Buried Alive?
Buried Alive, yeah.
That festival.
Play at Buried Alive.
Yeah, maybe it was in that festival. Maybe that
it didn't get played there.
Oh, it didn't.
But no, I don't know. I must be confused. But I know I saw it somewhere, and it wasn't in my home. But anyway, I freaking love that. I love the remake. I was.
Oh, great! Oh, terrific! That's really
patiently waiting to be disappointed because I love the original. But it was one of the few remakes that I could really get behind. I really enjoyed it.
Well, that's terrific. Well, I've run into people, as I say, at the Cannes Film Festival who actually liked it better than the original, and I've run into people who prefer the original. So apparently it's a really good, really good remake, and Rebecca De Mornay is apparently sensational, and that's terrific.
Yeah, there was nothing really bad to say about it. I will say, based on personal taste, that I did prefer the original. But yeah, no complaints about the remake, and I'm a very hard girl to please with remakes.
Now, were my brother and I in the film?
No.
Oh, excellent.
Not excellent. It would have been much better.
We went up to Winnipeg to be in it. They brought us up there to play a cameo, and we were supposed to be in a TV commercial about the Baker brothers, something to do with mortgages. Or there's a TV. I guess they cut it out. Huh.
Oh wow! You know, actually, Lloyd, you were at one point going to be in a movie that I was directing, but all the financing fell through. So
because I was in the movie, the financing fell through.
No.
Probably.
You were actually doing it for free. All we had to do was pay for your travel expenses, which I thought was awesome.
But maybe the financier pulled out because of me.
I don't think so. I think it was mostly my grandfather, so I don't think he didn't know who you were.
Oh yeah, good. He wouldn't.
But
hey, by the way, if you go to NPR. Tiffany, check out NPR blog. It's called All Songs Considered. And there's a music video by Dino Walrus, and I'm in that.
Really?
Yes.
I'm actually a really big fan of All Songs Considered, but I have not heard or seen this. I'm making note of it right now.
The band is called Dino Walrus. And
all right, I am all over that.
Did you ever see Terror Firmer?
No.
Well, you ought to see that too. But the Dino Walrus music video is directed by the person who played the mute child in Terror Firmer.
All right.
Your daughter.
And
your daughter?
Yeah, she played my daughter in Terror Firmer, the mute daughter. So it's quite interesting, and somehow it's on NPR blog there. All Songs Considered.
I'd love
to know what you think of it. Yeah, it's a Phone Home. It's called. That's pretty interesting music video. Kind of a Rip Van Winkle riff.
Awesome! I can't wait.
Speaking of film festivals, Lloyd, because I know some of our listeners are filmmakers, and of course HorrorQuest is a film festival as well, but
yes.
Can you tell people a little bit about Trauma Dance? Because I read that actually it came about a little bit because of Matt Stone, but I didn't know if you could probably tell us, why Trauma Dance came about. Maybe give people a little bit of information about it.
Well, the Trauma Dance Film Festival originated when Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and their posse asked me to come with them to Sundance. And Trey, with Cannibal the Musical, obviously, which never got into Sundance, of course. But they wanted to hang out there, and I was just shocked at how ugly the Sundance people were and how they hated independent filmmakers, or so it seemed. And then Trey and Matt suggested that, somehow we had some terrible pain, and we took some medicine, and we were chatting, and they said, well, why don't you start a festival where you don't have to pay to enter your movie? Because Sundance, you have to pay to enter the movie, and nobody gets in unless they're Harvey Weinstein or, politically correct, or make a movie that maybe 25 years ago would have been revolutionary. There's nothing over, and they really were unbelievably rude. So we decided, okay, we'll set up a festival. You can submit your movies for free. You can see the movies for free, and no VIP policy, no snotty behavior. And we decided we'd put it right in the heart of Sundance, right on Main Street, and that's what we did for 10 years. And two of our volunteers got arrested one year for handing out leaflets, and we called it, I think Trey said, everybody hates you, so call it Trauma Dance, because they'll hate you, they'll understand. And he said, call it Trauma Dance. If I remember correctly, he was the one that came up with. He said something like, people, just call it Trauma Dance. People will know that because they all hate you. And then we did that, and it got a lot of publicity, and it was very idealistic. And we got, it was sort of poking the finger in the eye of Sundance. And two of our volunteers, as I say, got arrested and put in jail for handing out leaflets one year. And Toxie's mop was confiscated because it's such a terrible weapon. And our guy with an accordion, the accordion was apparently, he was not permitted to play the accordion. So it was pretty horrible. But anyway, we were there for 10 years, and toward the end, Sundance seemed to be changing its. At least they were becoming more polite, and they seemed to have more independent movies, so maybe we made a difference. I don't know. But we outgrew Park City, Utah. We outgrew Sundance, and we moved the festival to Asbury Park, New Jersey, because it's a little bigger now. But it's all free. You can see the movies for free. You can submit your movie. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay to submit the movie, and there's no VIP policy. And we have a nice panel. We had Karen Black and Stephen Paul, who produced Ghost Rider, and Ron Jeremy, and all sorts of interesting people on the panel. And we usually pick an interesting subject. And then we have a famous party that is pretty exciting, very original and pretty, very idealistic.